Hi, I'm Chris,
And Kathy.
and today we're going to start a recipe for pickled fish. What I'm using here today is some panfish. I just cut them up into bite-sized pieces. They're crappie, bluegill, perch. You could use northerns. This is actually a great recipe for northerns because the bones will dissolve in this. You're not cooking these fish. The brine will help do that. And so for the brine, I have 2 cups of white vinegar. There's 1.5 cups of water and 1.5 cups of canning or pickling salt. And you get this boiled in on the stove. You're not going to dissolve all the salt by any means. You're just mixing it together, and just go ahead and pour it on the fish. You might think this is going to be a lot of salt, but it's what helps dissolve the bones and basically cook the fish. So I got it in there. Just mix it up a little bit here. Make sure that it gets down around all the fillets. And then I will put this in the refrigerator for 2 to 4 days. And every day I can take it out and stir it up a little bit. So I am going to go put this in the refrigerator, and when I come back, this is the brine, by the way. When I come back, I'll tell you exactly what you need for the pickling part. Okay, so let's go over that brine again. There was 2 cups of white vinegar, 1.5 cups of water, and 1.5 cups of canning salt. You bring that to a boil, let it simmer together for about 5 minutes, turn it off, let it come down to room temperature, and then add it to your bowl of fish or a gallon bag, Ziploc bag, whatever you want to put in the refrigerator. Leave it in there for 2 to 4 days. I'm going to leave mine in there for 3 days. For the pickling part, the seasonings and what you'll need is some white vinegar, some water, some sugar, pickling spice, mustard seed, Riesling wine, or any kind of a sweet white wine that you like, and either a red onion, yellow onion, white onion. This is one I'm going to use. So after my fish is set for 3 days, I don't know if I mentioned that you don't have to worry about the bones because the salt will help dissolve them along with the vinegar. So anyway, after my fish is set for 3 days, I'm going to come back out and tell you exactly how much of each you need to put in for the pickling spice. Okay. Alright, my fish is sat for 3 days in the refrigerator, and as you can see here, they turned out real nice and firm. The colors changed, textures changed. This would be a really good recipe for northern if you're not good at getting the Y bones out. So I already told you the ingredients that you needed for the pickling part, and now I'll tell you what you need for each one. You need 2 cups of white vinegar, 1 cup of water, 1 2/3 cups of sugar, 2 tablespoons of pickling spices, 1 tablespoon of mustard seed, and then 1 cup of your Riesling white wine or whatever sweet wine that you'd like to have. You bring all the ingredients but the wine to a boil in the pot. The vinegar, the water, the sugar, the spices. Bring it all to the boil. Let it simmer for a few minutes. Turn it off. Let it cool down to room temperature again. Then you separate the pickling spices out. Add your 1 cup of wine to it. Mix that up real well, and then here you go with that's what's left. Okay, plus what I have left in the pan. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start filling my jars. These are sterilized jars, and the reason you separate this spices is so that you don't get too much in any one jar. So put that, put a layer of onions. And I'm not going to pack these real hard. I want the juice to get around on everything. some more onion, a few more fish, and some more spices. When you're done with everything, if you have any of your juice left, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pickle up my onion and just go with that instead of wasting everything what's left over. A little bit more onion and some more fish. That ought to be good. Let it go. Alright, to about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, whatever, to the top. Then you add your mixture to it. Okay, and then I'm going to add just a little bit more of the seasoning mix to the top. Put my lid on, and there. Now that's going to go in the refrigerator, and it's going to sit in there for a week before you open it up. It's tempting to try it, but just leave it in there for a week and go from there. So I'm going to finish jarring these up, and I'll see you back in a week. Okay, so it's been 7 long days for this pickling brine to get done. All I did every day, I opened up the fridge and just gave it a little twist just to get the juice around everything. And you notice that I didn't pack it tight. And I do that just so that the juice can get around everywhere. I ended up with 1/2 pint of onion. If I would have had some cucumber handy, I could have threw in a few slices of cucumber. There was actually enough pickling brine to do 4 pints. So if you have even sweet pepper, maybe would be all right with that brine. You could also add a bay leaf or 2 to it if you wanted when you're cooking it. So let's get that dry here. I like how it remains firm. It ain't mushy like you get on some of them. And here, you know,
that's really good.
I think it's better than the stuff you get in the store. I always like that brand that you get at Walmart. But I think this is just as good, if not better than that. So, it turned out really great. It's a good thing to do with your panfish or northern pike, especially northerns that have a lot of bones, because it'll deteriorate in there. So, real quick, just to recap everything. 2 to 4 days on the initial brine. These went 3 days in it. Rinse them off real well. Rinse them a couple of times just to get that salt off them, because and right now they're not salty at all. Let them put them in cold water for about 15 minutes before you do the pickling brine, and that's that for 7 days. And I think that's about all I can add to this. It turned out really great. I hope you give it a try. It's very easy to do. Just make sure you have enough refrigerator space. It's tough for us because we live full-time in our RV and we just got a little refrigerator. But anyway, I hope you like this. Give it a try. Share it with your friends that do a lot of fishing. Hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can join us on Facebook at All Things Wild. Look for the canoe at the top of the page. And thanks for watching.
Bye.